Just you and me, John. You and me.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 characters who hilariously thought they could take John Wick.
If I didn't have to kill you, we'd be pals. Let's do this.
For this list, we're looking at instances where adversaries had too much confidence regarding their odds against the Baba Yaga himself. Whether they went up against him directly or indirectly, they all thought they had a chance to win or even just survive. Keep in mind, there will be spoilers for the first 3 films. Which fictional character would you want to see John Wick fight? Set it up in the comments. Number 10. The Shinobi. John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum.
Senang bertemu Anda, Mr. Wick.
Honestly, we could see how Zero students would think they have a chance against John Wick. After all, they outnumber him, they're armed, and they're played by the incredibly talented Raid actors Cecep Arif Rahman and Yayan Ruhian. However, like some others on this list, the Shinobi are huge fans of John, and should probably capitalize on their opportunities when they get them.
Lambat dia sekarang. Harusnya dia sudah pensiun 5 tahun lalu. Tapi tetap saja, John Wick.
Regardless, the level of respect both on and off-screen makes for an incredibly engaging 2-on-1. In fact, Keanu Reeves was reportedly so impressed with their prowess that he insisted John couldn't kill their characters. Still, that doesn't change the fact that they messed with the bull and got the horns.
Sampai jumpa.
Number 9. Viggo Tarasov. John Wick.
We called him Baba Yaga. The boogeyman? Well, John wasn't exactly the boogeyman.
Ironically, Viggo is the character who first informs us of John's utter badassery, yet he still does everything in his power to resist. That's understandable, seeing as it's his son's life on the line, but would he have sent virtually every man in his employ after John if he didn't think it could be done?
Tasker crew.
How many?
How many do you have?
Of course, being the primary antagonist, Viggo does get the upper hand on his former hitman a couple of times, even capturing him at one point. But he makes the mistake of not ending him while he has the chance, allowing John to do what he does best.
They know you're coming.
Of course. But it won't matter.
It all culminates at the docks, where Viggo tries to fight dirty, but John's incredible durability allows him to power through and overcome.
Be seeing you, Dom. Yeah. Be seeing you.
Number 8. Cassian. John Wick Chapter 2. Much like Viggo, Cassian is someone who's fully aware of John's capabilities, but his staunch loyalty and professionalism compel him to fight back all the same.
Good night.
Afraid so.
I'm sorry to hear that.
While in Rome, Cassian sadly never gets the chance to protect his employer Gianna D'Antonio. Upon seeing John Wick, he deduces his role in her death, indirectly though it is. This prompts him to go after John with every fiber of his being, and surprisingly manages to survive multiple meetings. But there's only so many times you can poke the hornet's nest before you get stung.
You killed my ward. Someone I was close to. An eye for an eye, John. You know how it goes.
Much like the Shinobi, Cassian is greatly respected by John, who ultimately gives him a professional courtesy by only giving him a fatal wound should he persist. We like to think he survives.
The blade is in your aorta. You pull it out, you will bleed and you will die.
This is the end of the line.
Consider this a professional courtesy.
Number 7. Berrada. John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum.
Jonathan Wick. I had heard you had made your way to our shores. Come along now. I am certain we have much to discuss.
Now we get into the really highfalutin jerks who never should have messed with John Wick. After all, how many times does he need to remind people to be nice to dogs?
The high table has marked you for death. Why would I allow you to leave here alive when your life has been, by your own actions, forfeit?
Seeking out the Elder, John reconvenes with Sophia, a former friend, who in turn introduces him to her former employer, Berrada. Berrada agrees to direct John to the Elder in exchange for one of Sophia's dogs. Sophia refuses, prompting Berrada to shoot the poor pup, though it survives thanks to its bulletproof vest.
You shot my dog.
I get it.
While Berrada doesn't get down and dirty himself, he clearly thought his men could handle John, Sophia, and her dogs, but no. Heck, we probably wouldn't have given them a shot against the dogs alone. Number 6. Ms. Perkins, John Wick. One of the things we love about the first John Wick is it's establishing the rich dynamics of the assassin underworld and all its rules. Most respect the rules. Ms. Perkins, not so much.
Good seeing you again, John.
Perkins.
When Vigo puts a bounty on John's head, Perkins is all too eager to collect, even willing to break the Continental Hotel's no killing on the grounds policy to get the job done.
Hey, John.
Perkins?
I thought I'd let myself in.
I noticed.
Perkins is able to sneak into John's room while he's sleeping, but the latter's friend Marcus is able to rouse him and get him in the fight.
We have received a number of grievances from your floor concerning the noise.
My apologies. I was dealing with an uninvited guest.
Of course, Perkins loses and John spares her, but her indiscretions don't end there. She kills John's friend Harry in the Continental and helps Vigo and Marcus, but ultimately, her sins catch up to her.
Your membership to the Continental has been by thine own hand revoked.
Number 5. Ernest, John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum. Ernest is an imposing guy. After all, he's played by 7'4" basketball player Boban Marjanovic.
Looking a little run down there, John.
Ernest, I still have time.
It's almost up. Who's gonna know the difference?
You sure this is what you want to do?
14 million, it's a lot of money.
Not if you can't spend it.
But even he manages to overestimate his abilities when he ambushes John at a local library. After the High Table puts a prospective $14 million bounty on John, Ernest is so eager to collect that he jumps at the opportunity before the bounty actually goes live. Which is a shame because that's a few extra minutes he could have had to not fight John Wick. Backed into a corner, John has no choice but to defend himself, and with what little resources he has. He epitomizes the definition of heavy reading with a few large tomes, repeatedly sending them into his adversary before he cuts the giant assassin down to size. Number 4. Ares, John Wick Chapter 2. Ares occupies a distinctly intimidating position in the John Wick series. She does not speak, which prompts her to sign absolutely chilling threats to her enemies. And somehow, she believes that she and her henchmen can take out John Wick himself, which is absolutely a fool's errand.
Loose ends.
Yeah.
After John completes the hit on Santino D'Antonio, her brother Santino tasks his right-hand woman Ares to tie up loose ends. The trouble is, John is able to escape her forces without much incident. Incensed, John takes the fight to Santino directly, meaning he has to go up against Ares again. This time though, the latter isn't so lucky. The set design and choreography make for a spellbinding fight, but it still ends like the others with John prevailing.
Sure.
Number 3. Zero, John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum. When it comes to John Wick fanboys, perhaps none are so pronounced as that of High Table assassin Zero.
I gotta tell you, I've been looking forward to meeting you for a long time. I'm a huge fan. John Wick. And so far, you haven't disappointed.
Played brilliantly by Mark Dacascos, Zero is incredibly fun to watch in his scenes with John, as he can't help but gush over his idol. But all that means little when it comes to doing what he's been paid to do.
See? That's why you're special, John Wick. I wouldn't have stopped.
John's initially able to evade Zero's grasp by reaching the Continental in time. But soon enough, they're having their own sanctioned mano-a-mano showdown between two greats in the industry.
See? We're the same.
Unlike his students, the Shinobi, though, Zero suffers a fatal wound before John walks away. Even in near death, though, Zero manages to retain his respectful naivete.
I'll catch up to you, John.
No, you won't.
Number 2. Santino D'Antonio, John Wick Chapter 2. As evidenced by our last entry, even a friendly disposition doesn't guarantee your well-being in this world. So you gotta know that a power-hungry scumbag like Santino D'Antonio would be issued his just desserts eventually.
No one gets out and comes back without repercussions.
As if exploiting John's reactivated status in the criminal underworld wasn't bad enough, Santino has the gall to go back on his deal and try to silence him once he's gotten what he wants. This, of course, only sets John's sights on him, leading the walls to close in on Santino.
I understand if you're upset. And I know it might feel personal. But what kind of man would I be if I didn't avenge my sister's murder?
Desperate for sanctuary, Santino shelters at the Continental. But just when he thinks he's safe, John ends his reign of tyranny.
What have you done?
Finished it.
When even John Wick is willing to break the rules, that's when you know you've really done wrong. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Yosef Tarasov, John Wick. Unlike pretty much everyone on this list, Yosef is poorly equipped to handle John Wick whatsoever. Yet his childish nature leads him to unknowingly steal his car and kill his puppy, essentially sparking the whole franchise in motion.
Father, I can make this right. Oh, how do you plan that? By finishing what I started.
Even when Yosef is apprised of John's mission and diligence, the Nepo baby arrogantly continues his partying ways until he witnesses firsthand the severity of the threat.
So you can either hand over your son, or you can die screaming alongside him!
Like the coward that he is, Yosef is stashed away at a safe house. Only safe really shouldn't be the operative word. John infiltrates the facility and finds a whimpering Yosef, putting to bed the primary ordeal and avenging puppy lovers everywhere. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.